Well, history was created today in Nagaland with the urban local body polls in the state witnessing the participation of women for the first time. This was also the first time in over 20 years that the ULB polls were held in Nagaland. Voting for the historic urban local body polls in Nagaland was been by and large peaceful, and as far the latest inputs, around 80% polling was registered by the time the voting closed. Well, polling was held in 3 municipalities, 22 town councils and 214 wards, with as many as 523 candidates in fray. Over 2.2 lakh voters were eligible to exercise their franchise in the ULB polls. However, the electoral process was marked by the ENPO's decision to boycott the polls in eastern Nagaland, comprising 14 town councils and 140 wards spread across 20 constituencies in 6 districts. Eastern Nagaland had also abstained from participating in the recent Lok Sabha elections as well. The ULB polls were a test of the NDPP-BJP alliance in the state. While the NDPP contested in 178 wards, the BJP fielded candidates in 44, the Congress in 37, the NPP in 22. Noticeably, as many as 182 independent candidates were also in the fray. 64 candidates have already been elected unopposed. All right, now I'm being joined live with my colleague Sarah Konyak from Kohima. So, Sarah, history was created today in Nagaland. The ULB polls ended just a short while back. So, give us how was the date so far?
Yes, Priya, indeed, like you have rightly pointed out, history was created today as Nagaland conducted the urban local body elections after a gap of 20 years, significantly with the participation of women. That was with 33% women reservation. There were around 198 candidates in the fray who had contested from both the reserve seats as well as the general quota. When we talk about the polling throughout the day, that started early in the morning at 7:30 a.m. We can say that by and large the entire polling was peaceful. However, there were reports of some minor incidents from various polling stations, particularly of verbal altercations between supporters of various political parties, and as well as violation of model code of conduct by some of the electors. There were reports of proxy voting, and we have been informed, what we have gathered is that some of the electors who have been caught in proxy voting have been apprehended by the police, and also we witnessed that strict vigilance and very tight security were put in place in all the polling stations, especially in the hypersensitive and sensitive polling stations. Overall, there were no major incidents that has been reported so far, and as of now, the tentative polling percentage stands at 80%, Priya.
Right, and also, Sarah, not to forget, the ULB polls were a test of the NDPP and BJP alliance in the state, because, you know, during the campaign, we have seen blame game going on between the BJP and the NDPP party, you know, regarding the Lok Sabha election, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. Prior to the Lok Sabha election results, there were talks going on between the two alliance partners that they will have the same arrangement like the two alliance partners had in the 2023 general elections, where there was a seat sharing, and this was the proposal that was agreed by both the alliance partner. However, things took a different turn after the Lok Sabha results were declared, and both the alliance partners decided that they will have a friendly contest instead of having a seat sharing. So during the campaigning trails of the ULB, where we had witnessed NDPP leaders and particularly the NDPP leaders who were indirectly accusing or blaming the BJP, its alliance partner, for the loss in the recently concluded Lok Sabha elections, where the Congress candidate Mr. S. Supongmarin Jamir had won the lone Lok Sabha seat. But well, yes, both the parties have filled their candidates in some of the constituencies which are held by both the parties. But yes, the results will be declared on the 29th of June, and we will know what the mandate of the people is, who they actually have elected to represent their particular wards.
So, Sarah, the electoral process today was marred by the ENPO's decision to boycott the polls in the eastern Nagaland, comprising 14 town councils and 140 wards. But despite of that, 80% voter turnout approximately till now. So, people came out in large number to exercise their franchise in Nagaland, isn't it?
Yes, definitely, Priya. 1/3 of the state did not participate. That is from the eastern region, which, like you have said, which comprises of 14 town councils. That is 140 wards altogether. And despite the abstention from the Eastern Nagaland People's Organization, people came out in large number to exercise their franchise. Like it is being rightly mentioned, it is very historic, and people have been deprived of their rights, the benefits that the citizens should get in both the town and the municipalities. So definitely this was a very historic day. We saw a lot of enthusiasm among the electors as well. A lot of women candidates, a lot of women electors, and both men and women folk had come out in large number since early morning. I can say by 6 to 6:30 we saw a large number of people queuing up in their respective polling stations to exercise their franchise. So definitely there was a lot of enthusiasm among the electorates as well for this ULB, which was conducted today after a gap of 20 years, Priya.
Right, Sarah Konyak, thank you so much for all those details.